Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I wanted to come on here and share one of my own scary stories with you, if that's okay. And this is one of the scariest things that I have experienced to date, but it does have not a scary ending. It's really a lesson for me to prove to you guys that some things that present themselves as super scary to you are not bad. Now, if you follow me on TikTok, you watched this entire thing fold out a few months to a year ago. I really don't remember when it started happening, but I never shared the ending. So this will be brand new information. So if you guys did see that, please still stay and watch this. So I've had a lot of paranormal things happen to me starting from a young age. Before I even remember it, my mom used to tell me stories of me crying over a woman in black staying with me while I slept. I don't remember that, of course, I was a baby. But it's still happening today, and I had something really creepy happen to me mildly recently. So with this specific entity, I had 3 encounters. The first encounter happened one night while my husband, my dog, and myself were just upstairs laying in bed watching TV. I'm not sure if it was for a drink or for a snack, but my husband decided that he was going to go downstairs and grab something, and my dog went with him, but I stayed behind. Listen, I live in the Appalachian Mountains, and I know the rules, and I know what to do and what not to do, and to keep my curtains closed at night. But for some reason, there was just this gut feeling that I needed to look outside of my bedroom window. I ignored it for a while. I was like, I can't do that. Whatever's out there, I don't need to be looking at. I don't know what wants me to look at it so badly. But I eventually caved in, and I peek open through my curtain, and I am met with a woman. Now let me describe to you what this woman looked like. She had a gaping open mouth. I referred to her as the gaping mouth entity for a really long time before I learned what her name was. Her neck was kind of thrown back. So she had a gaping mouth, her neck was thrown back, eyes very wide. She had short, looked like kind of brownish hair, maybe down to here. She was wearing a white nightgown looking thing, and her arms were outstretched in a T-pose. Now, that would have been scary enough to see looking out of your window, but this woman was in fact level with my window. Now, that really wouldn't be that big of a deal if I weren't on the second floor. She was floating in the field across from my bedroom window. I immediately looked away, closed my curtain, and just pretended it didn't happen. When my husband returned upstairs, I told him, and he looked out there and there was obviously nothing there. So I try to brush that from my brain, and a few days later, the second encounter happens. This time I am in the kitchen with my husband because I learned my lesson, and we're in there making a snack. He says something, and I'm like looking down at the sink or the counter or whatever, and I look up at him, and at his shoulder is this entity. Again, gaping mouth, same thing, not doing a T-pose this time, but she's right at his shoulder, just like looking up. She's not looking at me or him or anything, she's just looking up. So I look away really fast, and I look back, and she is gone. I tell him what happened, and he, rightfully so, ushers me upstairs. He's like, okay, well, this isn't our space anymore, we need to go. And now that brings us to the third and final encounter that I had with her. I'm downstairs, down here in this bathroom, and I'm at the sink washing my hands. And I glance up in the mirror, and behind me, I see her standing beside of the dryer. I had already been telling this story as it was happening on TikTok, and a lot of people were like, you need to ask her what she wants because she might need help with something. So as I'm washing my hands, I stop and I say, what do you need? Do you need me for something? Do you need help? Do you need to tell me something? And I didn't see her mouth move, and I don't know if it like just came out of her or if she telepathically said it, but I heard, I just wanted to say hi, and I watched her shimmy away behind the dryer, and that was the last time I saw her. And nothing happened for a while after that. And I was like, okay, I guess she just wanted to be recognized. She just wanted me to acknowledge her, and she moved on. Whether she went, to a separate plane or just to someone else, she was no longer around me. And I thought that's where the story would end, but it wasn't. A bit later, I wake up one morning and I walk downstairs as I usually do, and I am met with a piece of construction paper lying in the middle of my floor. It's right at my back door, right in the middle between my kitchen and dining room, and I don't own construction paper, and I don't own the type of utensil that was used to write on this paper. So, I can't prove it, but I don't. I pick up the paper, and there is a first and either middle or last, I didn't know, but it was 2 separate names written on the paper. And on the back, I flipped it over, and it was the first name written 4 times. I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out what happened, and I'm looking at my back door to see if someone could have slid a piece of paper under it, because am I being stalked right now? And there's no way. There's no way that this paper could have gotten there. I am confused. So I go to my husband and he's like, I feel like we should look up obituaries, because we're already like, this entity that we saw is already kind of fresh in our mind. So we're like, there's no way. But we start looking up obituaries close by. And sure enough, there was a name that matched a passing that would have explained for her to look the way she did, kind of close by a few months before. So my husband clicks on her obituary, clicks on her picture, shows it to me, and that is the same entity that I had saw. I cried for probably hours, and it absolutely broke my heart. I don't know if she just wanted to be acknowledged before she could move on. I feel like she'd probably been wandering around trying to get someone to see her for a long time, and then I did. I don't know. I hope wherever she ended up, she is so happy. And I just, oh my God, it shatters me. I'm not going to show the paper. I hope you guys are okay with that. I don't want anyone looking up her name and reaching out to her family. I find that extremely disrespectful, so I'm not going to be doing that. You'll just have to take my word for it, and if you don't, then I hope you just enjoyed the entertaining story, I guess. But I wanted this to serve as a reminder, because sometimes things present themselves to you in a very scary way when they are nothing of the sort. Sometimes when people pass, their spirits can just resemble how they looked in life. Maybe they don't know they've passed, things like that. But not everything that looks scary is going to be scary. But I hope you guys liked this story. I know I've shared my mimic encounters on here, mine and my husband's, but I really want to document all of my stuff on here. I've done that on TikTok, but I just want them long formatted on here because I feel like I can say more. And I don't have to really rush, because with TikTok there's more of a time limit. But if you guys like this, I would love to tell more stories. I live in the Appalachian Mountains, and I want to start telling stories based on what's happened to me outside and in the woods here as well, and put some sort of like rules to keep you safe in Appalachia series on here, because I did that on TikTok and it did really well. And I mean, not many people know. And here's the thing, when it comes to like, sorry to get off track, when it comes to like Appalachian stuff, even if you don't believe in the folklore, most of the rules pertaining to the folklore are really good for the local wildlife here. So I mean, it's good to know regardless. So if you're in the woods and like everything goes silent, maybe it's not a monster per se in there, but it could be a mountain lion, and you could need to know how to react. And it's kind of the same way. It's just mind your business and get out of the area. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me and for listening to my stories, and thank you for allowing me to share not only my own stories, but your all stories with you guys, back to you. I don't know how to word that, but thank you. I am so grateful, and I will see you again very soon. All right.